versus Xenon.
Okay, I'll take Xenon. But if you say Monster Squad versus Xenon, I'm taking Monster Squad all day, every day.
No.
You've never even seen it.
I don't need to.
Of the two people in here,
I already know that Xenon's better.
I am the one who's seen both of these. What was another movie that you're comparing it to? Princess Bride? I'll take Princess Bride any day over Xenon. That's insane to say that.
I'll take Xenon.
Oh my God, that's the dumbest thing. That's the hill you're going to die on, is Xenon?
Yes.
So
Xenon all day,
know,
every day. It lives rent free in my brain.
You're marching up that hill right now, and you know very well that if you asked 100 people, that most of them, if not all of them, would take Princess Bride in a heartbeat. But that's your opinion, I guess. But it's wrong, and that's fine.
Do I get to choose people? Or it's just random?
It's just random. Also, most of them will be like, what the fuck is Xenon?
Well, I think we'd have to set guidelines of like, you know, millennial. Certain age millennials.
Well, yeah, because like Zoomers aren't even going to know either of those. They're probably going to have a better chance of knowing what Princess Bride is, I guess.
I'd kind of be surprised if they knew what Princess Bride is.
I've been hearing shocking things of like Zoomers just being like, what's that? And I'm like, oh my God. It's like that meme of like, in the 1900s, they listened in on these, and they're just like, oh my God, the 1900s.
I saw a reel of a woman who's like, she's millennial, Gen X. Yeah, she's millennial, probably an elder millennial. And she has like her like preteen, teenage daughter. And she's showing her pictures of like all the hunks.
The heartthrobs, yeah.
The heartthrobs, yeah. Yeah. But like JTT was like, I don't know, like 6? He's mid. And it's just like, you're calling JTT mid?
We don't call ourselves elder millennials. We call ourselves Xenials. The Goonies generation.
But she at least had it right with Uncle Jesse, you know.
She's like, Uncle Jesse would get it.
She got flustered when she saw John Stamos. She was like, oh my God, like 9 out of 10.
How young was he? Because if it's too young, he looks like a little weird.
Full House era.
Which Full House era, though?
What do you mean, which Full House era?
Has he had the twins already?
I don't think so. But let's be real. There's no bad John Stamos age.
Accurate.
I mean, he's like a real life Prince Eric.
No. Prince Eric was on that show.
What show?
Oh, wait, Prince Eric. I'm thinking of Aladdin.
Steve.
Did he sing too?
No, he did not.
Ugh, what a disgusting human. Did you finish watching Fuller House?
I barely started Fuller House, and I actually wanted to watch
you barely started? You wanted to watch...
I wanted to watch all of Full House the other day while I was folding laundry.
Fuller House or Full House?
Full House.
Like the OG?
Yes. I wanted to like start that, and it was not anywhere. Or like, no, it was on Max, like that streaming service. And I was just like, that's odd. I would expect it to be like either Disney or Netflix, you know, Hulu at the very least. But Max?
Disney's trying to get that money. They're like, license this stuff. People like old shows. That's what sells.
Yeah, but like, I mean, you know, Full House was ABC.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense why Max would
and then Fuller House was Netflix. So you would think it'd be at least like in the Disney or Netflix family.
I mean, they're all going to be owned by the same thing soon. It's going to have to. Then it's just going to become cable again.
I mean,
they're like, you want to buy them all? It's $50 a month. We're like, oh, God.
But no, I mean, I don't know if I've had this conversation with you. We have it at work sometimes, or I've had it with my peers at work. Not that my company is actually talking about it, but, you know, I work in the telecom industry, and Comcast, they have started bundling certain streaming services with their cable service. So it's like, and it's so cheap. It is dirt cheap. Like, I don't know how they're not losing money on it or something. But it's like, and I mean, I don't know what the actual price is, but it was something comparative of like, get like our cable package and like these 2 or 3 streaming services for like $50 a month.
Would you pay like $50 a month if you got Max, Disney, Hulu, Peacock, and like Paramount? And Netflix,
Would I pay how much?
like $50 a month. Or would you rather just have like one or two, like we do? We have three. Oh, no, wait, we have
We
four.
have
We have four.
we have Disney Plus.
We have Peacock. We have Prime. We have
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. We don't have Hulu anymore unless
And
the
we have
limiters.
Netflix.
And Netflix.
And we have Apple.
And two of those are free.
Three of those are free.
Well, Prime's not free, but we bought it for the shipping.
I wasn't counting Prime in that. I'm saying that we
Peacock
have
and Netflix.
and Apple for free.
How do we have Apple for free?
It is through T-Mobile, I think.
How? I don't understand how any of them are even making money with that.
I don't know, but
It's not like it's things we find out after the fact. We're like, oh, it's this for free. Okay, cool.
yeah, I mean,
We didn't like oh, we need T-Mobile.
like we would not be subscribed to Netflix if it wasn't free for us. We would not be subscribed to Peacock if it wasn't free for us, and we would only get Apple whenever the shows we watch are out.
Although to be fair, I think we watch Peacock more than any of the other ones.
And we watch Disney Plus more than the other ones.
Well, that's just for Bluey.
That is true.
But like for Peacock, we watch 30 Rock.
And that is a discussion we've had of like if we could buy Bluey on Blu-ray or streaming, like actually own it, we would not be subscribed to Disney Plus.
Yeah, because we've been. What have you been excited about?
That's a whole other episode.
It's like, I think Andor is the only thing that's coming up that I'm like, oh, I'll watch that.
Yeah, but then at that point, it's like we wouldn't do the yearly
No,
membership.
I
We
just
would
wait
just
till
like
it's done.
wait until all the episodes have
Then
aired,
binge the shit out of
and
it.
then subscribe for a month. Oh, we're gonna have to get Hulu for a couple of months coming up.
Yeah, because
Only
Only
Murders.
Murders comes back.
Yeah.
And on that note, the champagne has been popped.
Why do you do this?
The wine is flowing. You know where we're going. We're going on the backlot tour. And I'm your tour guide, Captain Zach, as he always is. The beans.
Or Jana.
The beans. What are we talking about today? Because I don't know.
I don't either.
Wait, what? You're not even drinking. You're drinking tea. You're supposed to be the one on the chart. You're supposed to be the one on top of the ball.
Which one? Okay. We're talking about.
Animatronics.
Is that this one we're going with?
Oh, God. What are we talking about?
Okay. So today we are talking about
Talking about people. Fake people.
fake robotic people.
Fake. There's too many. That's clunky. You don't need all that.
Robots.
It's redundant.
Animatronics.
There you go.
We are talking about animatronics.
Or the lack thereof.
Their journey they have taken.
The de-evolution of our animatronics in America.
And the evolution overseas.
It really makes you mad. I'm getting mad just thinking about it now. Because the more and more videos that come out of the newer animatronics that have come out in the other parks, and what we get in Florida is hot garbage. Sure, you get the
it's hot
million.
garbage. Not just Florida, but in Disneyland in California too.
We've gotten like two really good ones in the last 5 years. And that would be the Avatar woman. Like, that's like $1 million just for that one. And I guess Hondo, which half the time he's not even in there. And he's the only reason I want to go on that ride is just because I like seeing Hondo being acknowledged in Star Wars. Other than that, I'm ill impressed.
Let's go back in time.
Let's go back.
And the first animatronic Walt Disney created was a bird.
Mm-hmm.
And it was extremely great, especially for that time. And then we kind of see evolution wise, like you've got the little singing bluebird and Mary Poppins, then into like the tiki room with our beloved host there, Jose. So, I mean, it's just like evolved from that into.
Well, take a step back also, like the de-evolution of what we've been witnessing in our parks. People aren't really loving, from what I'm understanding, the Princess and the Frog reskin, right? Because it's screens, right?
I'm not going to say people are not loving it. People do like it. It's just when you compare the amount of animatronics and thought that went into Splash Mountain versus Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Tiana's Bayou Adventure comes up a little bit lacking because in Splash Mountain, there was always something happening every part of the ride, something to look at, whether it was, like different critters' houses or like a
And
little thing
and
here or
most of those
there.
were simple,
Yeah, they were all very
super
simple.
simple.
But I mean, there were massive animatronics everywhere. You know, like Brer Bear is a big animatronic. Brer Fox, Brer Rabbit. They're all
But
hefty.
most of them are
and
the
human
end of the
things.
ride, right? Like a large portion of the end.
For Tiana's Bayou Adventure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is where the bulk of them are.
Because you got the huge boat at the end of the original with all the chickens and stuff, but like,
Right. So people's complaints is that they have like replaced a lot of areas that had animatronics with just screens. And, you know, with like some fake plants and things around it.
So it's like the Avatar river.
Navi River Journey.
So it's like a lot of screens. The screens are such a cop out, I feel like.
It really is. It's a lack of imagination and creativity and just not wanting to put forth the effort.
It pulls you out a little bit because it's obviously a screen. It's obviously 2D trying to be 3D. Well, and it does it to a degree, but at the same time, it's not there with you.
I think the reason it works in Navi River Journey is because that is a fantasy place and it kind of gives more of like a 3-dimensional aspect looking like back into the forest, and you see that like panther type creature walking by, you know, or like you see a Navi coming through and everything. And
I'm on the fence about this just because
I feel like it fits more in that ride than it does in Tiana's Bayou Adventure, especially if you see the screens in Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's like the proportion of what's displayed. Yeah.
Well, think about effects in rides. I still go back to the idea of, I look at the gold standard is Haunted Mansion for me, because there's things in that ride that still hold up to me today. I'm biased, I know, but you get to that ballroom scene and the Pepper's ghost, I'm still just like, this is amazing. And I am in awe of every time I see it. It never gets old.
Do you actually count this as animatronics though?
Yeah, they are animatronics though.
But because, you know, like they're
animatronics with an effect.
Well, they're posed. You know,
no, I'm talking about the people at the dinner table. They're still moving.
Oh, okay. I was
Those
thinking
other
about
people
the
aren't
dancers.
like. Well, they got the gunmen doing their thing.
Right,
you got the people swinging on the chandeliers.
I don't know.
You
why
have
I spaced
so
out
many
on
things happening in that ride, and then you go to the graveyard, and then there's a billion more things happening.
Yeah.
You got the singing bus projections. You got all the CG, like all the characters.
And that was an attraction.
There's no screens.
Like at Disney World, that was built in the 70s.
It hasn't changed that much.
Yeah.
There's very little that has changed in that ride, and it's still one of the more popular rides. And it's like,
well, and look at Pirates too.
One of the more popular. Well, it's cyclical for those, just because of like, if a Pirates movie comes out, it gains popularity again.
Well, I'm not talking about a popularity contest.
It's still one of our favorites. It's still one of my favorites.
We're talking about the quality of the animatronics.
Oh yeah.
We're just talking about animatronics. We're not talking about popularity of rides.
And the only thing the big thing that changed about that was Jack Sparrow, and his animatronic is leaps and bounds better than a lot of the ones in there. But everywhere is real. You look somewhere, it's real. There's all these interesting tricks like the fire, like just blowing fabric with a fan. It's these simple tricks that were used to like and give you depth, like all the stuff that's happening in those rides.
Fire's not animatronic.
No, I'm just saying there's like better effects to make it feel like you're actually in there. They blow smells in there. You feel like you're actually somewhere. Whereas like if I see a screen with a stupid like just fake like just it's a cartoon on a screen, it's going to take me out of it. Yeah. It's a 2D faked thing that's a cop out.
Well, I mean, it's updated for the new style of animation, the digital animation. So it's not like hand drawn Tiana on the screen.
See, I would have been more on board if it was like a new like a 2D drawing kind of stuff that was more fun in there.
No,
but now you're
not.
just telling me it's just horseshit.
No. And that ride has already had
it breaks a lot, I heard.
Yes. It just officially
breaks?
opened.
What's breaking? It's not an animatronic.
During annual pass holder and like DVC and cast member previews, you know, is constantly breaking down and they're having to evacuate and everything. And I mean, Tiana in the end scene, she's supposed to be like dancing and she's just standing there with her arms like out by her side. Yeah, she's just like standing there like in shock. Yeah. Like she's seen a ghost.
That's if she's broken.
Yes.
What's she supposed to be doing?
she's supposed to be like dancing and singing and stuff and like actually like having movement and everything.
So well, let me ask you this: besides Hondo and the Avatar shaman woman, are you like blown away by any other animatronic that's come out in the last like 10 years? There's only one that comes to my head that
Lumiere.
Yeah, Lumiere. That's it.
Lumiere and Enchanted Tales of Belle
Yeah.
at Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
And that's like an afterthought, I feel like, most of the time.
Well, I think one reason that Lumiere is like so impressive is because it is so tiny.
Yeah.
You know, for one thing. But I mean, like, even if you go to like, you know, Carousel of Progress, which is, you know, what, like 60 years old or something like that.
I think it's 70 years old at this point.
Those animatronics still look like really good and they've got nice movement. Sure, sometimes John's hand falls off, but you know, who doesn't that happen to? And
well, even newer ones, like when Ursula's head falls off and like it's just like, whoa, there goes her head.
Right. But and like and we were talking about this last night a little bit too, but at the Festival of the Lion King at Animal Kingdom, if you look at that Simba animatronic, it is huge and Simba is getting into everything. Like he is dancing, he is moving, he's like blinking, he's like, you know, really vibing and everything. And that is 25-ish years old. And, you know, the show was just thrown together in like a few weeks right before Animal Kingdom opened.
What have the other parks gotten recently? The ones I've seen were like the Frozen ones, which put ours to shame because we have like two-tone.
Well, let's talk about Frozen real quick.
Let's talk about how bad our Frozen animatronics are.
You take away Maelstrom and then you give us that garbage with like digital faces. I don't know if they were like trying to do kind of like, I don't know, you know, like the whole like Madame Leota or like singing bus things, you know, but it did not work. And it's like
people have had to voice their
they look like they're not wearing the right shade of makeup.
Yeah, they're like, I need to do my neck today. That's all they are. And I'm like, I cannot not look at that and just that's all I see.
I know. And then when the faces are out, if they're like broken, it's really weird.
They're all the blank from Dick Tracy.
And I just wonder, it's like, okay, so that ride has been there for
10 years?
Yeah, I was gonna say like about 10 years now. Why haven't you just like put on some new heads or something? You know, it can't be that expensive or that like time consuming to go put on some new heads.
Where did the new one just open? Like the whole land? Where did
Tokyo.
So Tokyo gets that. Their animatronics obviously look a shit ton better than ours.
So much better.
And
so much better.
Is Tokyo the one that has the Winnie the Pooh ride too? That's like crazy, right?
I think so.
Like
and Shanghai is the one with the insane pirates.
Well, the insane pirates thing, that whole Jack Sparrow as a skeleton coming to life, it's the same trick they're using with Adam and the Beast. And I still don't understand how they do it. And I kind of don't want to know, actually.
And this is all at the foreign parks.
But it's like they use that like morphing technology of like, I'm assuming it's projection based and then something else. I don't know. But like, I kind of don't want to know. Yeah. I kind of like not knowing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe some sort of Pepper's Ghost thing too.
I think it's probably something like that. But it's like mirrors. It's so smooth and so awesome. I'm just like, why don't we get this shit? They're like, this is their flagship place, and they're like, no, we don't want to do it.
I have a theory behind this.
Is that they're recycling and doing like old technology and being lazy?
No.
Although the old technology is better.
Mean, well, you know, we know that like Japan and China are more technologically advanced than we are. Shocking, I know. But I kind of have like a theory that I believe it's called Oriental Land. Yeah. The Oriental Land Company owns Tokyo Disney. Like Disney, the Walt Disney Company does not own them. They don't own anything about Tokyo Disney.
So you just licensed the name?
It's just licensed. They had their Imagineers come in and do stuff, but everything there is funded by Oriental Land Company.
But didn't we like specifically send people over there to like make some of the exact same rides though? Didn't they like lift some of our rides to make the same?
I just said that.
Or I guess we lifted Tron.
I just said that like Disney had their Imagineers there.
Mm-hmm.
They like Disney still pretty much did everything, but I think since they're not having to use their own funds for it, and you know, also just Japanese culture has such a higher standard for things when it comes to,
I think we used to have a higher standard.
well, I think we used to. I don't think we do anymore. But Japan still maintains that high standard.
Yeah.
So they are having to live up to that and that expectation. And then too, with like Shanghai Disney and Hong Kong Disney, they are both owned by the government.
I mean, if you look at just even like Mystic
I mean,
Manor.
I say owned by the government in that. So the government,
It's PBS.
it's a joint venture between three companies that the government owns. So it's just like it's owned by the government, and Disney owns about 43% of each of them, and the government owns the rest.
I mean, when we saw the ride through of Mystic Manor, I was like, how do we not have stuff like this here? Mm-hmm. This is older too. How old is that ride? Probably like 20 years?
Probably.
It had some crazy technology. And I'm like, this blows almost everything we have out of the water.
It was a trackless ride too, wasn't it?
It was trackless. It had some really interesting, they actually used digital screens for a better purpose, I think, because they used it for their paintings, like coming to life, basically. And they integrated a bunch of other technology and other tricks and stuff to make that ride sing. And we don't get that here.
Yeah, Mystic Manor opened May 17th, 2013.
Yeah, so it's like 10 years old.
Yeah, not 2010.
Yeah. Still,
Yeah.
like within the last 10 years, we got Ariel's, like the Little Mermaid ride, which I still think is hot garbage.
I
but
mean,
at least it's all animatronics, no
You know,
screens.
I absolutely love The Little Mermaid. So
Fine.
I love that ride, but the animatronics on there really are basic AF.
They're like the old school ones, but like if you.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
Which
They're
I'd
very
still-
much like
I'd
the
still
Peter
prefer-
Pan.
I'd still prefer that
animatronics.
though, in something like a Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I think I'd prefer like that everywhere rather than screens.
Over screens, yeah.
Over screens, yeah. Like I don't want to look at screens.
Yeah.
It's like I don't just TVs
Well, and
everywhere.
there are so many people, like Katie, who is sensitive to screens and movement.
Yeah, it makes you sick. It's like if you rely on that as your crutch, because Universal falls into that quite a few times, I think, too.
Well, they do, but I also think they're moving away from it now.
Yeah, because I think everyone's sick of it.
I think they've caught the drift, that people want quality and
I think
you to
just gotta
actually
come up-
put forth effort. And it goes back to, this is why Universal is winning right now.
You got to come up with like newer ride systems. And then they're like, oh, trackless. I'm like, this has still been around for a while now. And you're like, oh, because I mean, Mickey's Runaway Railway, I think is cool. It is all screens though. It's projections and screens and a trackless thing. That being said, it looks good. But
Yeah, it looks amazing.
if you
It's
gave me a
fun.
choice between Great Movie Ride and Mickey's Runaway Railway, I'd be like, all day, every day, Great Movie Ride.
Yeah. I mean, the Great Movie Ride, one reason it was so impressive is because of all the animatronics that were on there, that were basically like life cast of these people.
That was
and
right
also
for-
when you go to like American Adventure, that show
Mm-hmm.
with all of the animatronics, it looks so good.
Well, it's like, I think also the Great Movie Ride, instead of like we talked about this before, but like you put Minnie's Runaway Railway in Animation Courtyard, you keep that intact, and maybe you update one or two of the segments. And that's it. Maybe you leave it intact and you just be like, let's update Tarzan. Let's update this maybe. And that's it. You just leave it and maybe update the CG, not CG, like the animatronics a little to fix them because some of them were wonky. And they just didn't care about that ride, I feel like. They were just like, let's not fix it. Because they knew they were getting rid of it, I think.
Where do you think the aliens are from the ride?
The Xenomorph, I bet there's like some cool ass backlot tour that exists that we can never go on. And I'm
You mean
pissed.
just a warehouse?
Well, it's just, oh God. I'm sure there's a warehouse of awesome stuff.
What if they sold all those?
It was just in that outlet mall. Like, there's just like a giant Xenomorph. And I'm like, how much is that? They're like,
Well, I know like
$20.
Like Disneyland will auction like their old props. Like here's a
John
bench
Stamos is
from
just there
the-
being like, I want that. I want that.
Yeah, so I mean, this stuff like
'Cause
goes
he's got
for
like,
like
doesn't he have like a Doom buggy or like a,
he has
like
Dumbo.
Dumbo and
he has
like-
Dumbo.
yeah.
He probably has a teacup too. I don't know.
Yeah. They're like, oh, and didn't he have like the Disneyland sign that he
I
like
think so.
outbid like Michael Jackson for?
I think
I
so.
think so. Yeah.
I love that about him.
But anyways, like, yeah, there's like nothing impressive as of late. And I'm seeing all these other videos of these other ones and I'm just like, why?
Not for America.
Why aren't we
Like,
getting anything cool? Can we borrow one of the other Imagineers that's doing this stuff? or you guys don't want to spend the money on it.
I think it comes down to the money. They don't want to
They're
spend the
spending
money.
so much money on like garbage
And
shows.
they're just like nickel and diming everyone now. And it's just corporate greed. It's like we got to pay Bob Iger
Corporate
more.
greed.
Like,
No, I think they're just spending too much money on their content on Disney Plus, and it's failing. So
that is a sinking ship. And
because what was that stat? There's like 30% of all viewership for Disney Plus is Bluey.
I think it's like 37.
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
not. It's not even their show.
It's not.
and that's what we watch.
Yeah.
That's it. Because our kids love Bluey.
We love Bluey.
Why
I
isn't there a
watch
Bluey?
Bluey.
Why isn't there a Bluey ride? Make up-
Because they'd have to pay the Australian government
Do you
probably.
know how popular a Bluey dark ride would be?
Oh my gosh.
Or a show? That would like shatter records.
Yeah,
I
if
feel
you
like.
put it in like the animation courtyard with the Disney Junior stuff.
Yeah, it would blow up that whole area. Like that whole area would be like you couldn't get in. I bet.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so cool.
It doesn't even have to be anything. I feel like it has to be like the
You could
bar is
just have
set
like
so low.
a Bluey meet and greet.
It could be a Bluey meet and greet. Everyone would be like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be Bluey,
Yeah.
Bandit!" But like, we're not getting shit.
Yeah. we're
Like,
not.
what's the next thing on the docket that's opening or like coming after Tiana's just opened? What else is like?
Country Bear Jamboree reopens in July.
That's just new songs, really. What else? It's like there's a Zootopia 3D show.
Yes. And then they're going to do Tropical Americas.
So it's like an Indiana Jones also, which is going to be, if they just reskin Dinosaur, I'm going to be really fucking pissed. And I know they're going to do that because they are lazy. I hate that
You
ride
think it's
system.
going to be the same track?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have to say, going to Disneyland and actually riding Indiana Jones there, yes, it's the same vehicle, but the track is completely different.
Well, no, it's like, it's programmed so
It's
poorly.
so much fun.
Well, this one is
It is so
not
much
fun.
No, I know. So it's like,
This is like-
I'm really hoping that if they're just going to take the lazy road and copy something, just copy that ride exactly
Yeah.
and get rid of the current dinosaur track because it's not fun.
It's almost like a chiropractor came in and was like, I want you to fuck up their backs. This is what we're going to do so they can come to me after the vacation. That's all it is. It's like, fuck up people's backs. That's what that ride does.
I remember, I know we've talked
Even
about
when I
this
was younger,
before.
it did
Like,
that.
yeah, even when like Animal Kingdom first opened, I was like 14 or something. We rode dinosaurs, just like,
Oh, my back.
I don't like that.
It was so janky and it was so just dark everywhere. I'm like, what is over here?
Yeah,
and then they
it-
turn on the
it-
lights and you're like, oh, it's a house plant.
Yeah.
You're like, this is horse shit.
Yes. If you've never seen a walkthrough of dinosaur when it's getting evacuated, like look that up on YouTube. It is highly disappointing.
You're like, oh, this
Like-
is horse shit.
Yeah.
It's just lazy. It's like there's dark rides and then there's dark rides. That is a dark ride in the sense that it's like we don't want to show anything. I'll give them that. That's all animatronics, I guess, that you see. But like they're like, let's just
But
have
they're not even
pure
really
darkness
that
right here.
Good. It's like you've
No,
just
they're
got
not.
like half of a dinosaur on a dolly.
Yeah.
That just goes roar every once in a while.
Hello. Hello. I'd prefer that actually, where it's like, hello. Like the cephalopods, it's like, oh my, do you want some tea? I'd prefer that because I just absolutely hate that ride.
The cephalopods?
And I think that's what he said. Sauropods?
A cephalopod is like an octopus.
Yeah, not cephalopod. Sauropod? Sauropod.
I don't know.
He's calling it like a brachiosaurus something.
Okay.
I don't care.
We'll move on.
That guy's a villain. He's like, let me send you guys to die to get my dinosaur. And he's like, oh, you guys aren't going to make it. You're not going to make it. You made it. Oh, shit. And then like if you actually stay towards the end and as you're walking out and you see that screen, it shows the dinosaur just like running around in like the footage.
Yeah.
And they're like chasing after it. I'm like, what is this part of this stupid ride? And I'm like, this guy is a villain. He tried to kill us for his own personal gain. Literally, that's what the whole story of that ride is.
And fly.
And Claire Huxtable has every right to be mad
I mean,
at this guy.
I feel like with our animatronics, like specifically at Walt Disney World and Disneyland in California, that, you know, the quality has not gone up. The technology in it has not gotten better, you know, since the World's Fair with the Carousel of Progress, or Pirates of the Caribbean or Haunted Mansion, Hall of Presidency, and that it's like they're staying the same in terms of like movement and
the movement is better in like
certain things.
in the Avatar one.
Yeah,
But that one's like
one's amazing.
expensive as shit.
Yeah.
But then you're like, look at like Rise of the Resistance. The Kylo Ren is like kind of like a rag doll a little
Yeah,
bit.
Kylo Ren was silly to me.
It's just like he's like flailing and it's weird.
Yeah.
And it's like I kind of prefer when he's broken and you don't have to.
And you see him in a ship on the screen.
Yeah, the ship on screen. Because that part, like, they blow out the wall and then all of a sudden, like, two things go in front of him. It never makes sense to me.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
It's like they didn't think it through very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is an expensive ride. And then, like, this part, if you just, like, think about it for 2 seconds, you're like, wait, why? Why is that doing that? So,
Yeah.
Plus, the animatronics are just like, I think Finn is Ripley from the
I do
Alien
too.
scene.
Like, there's no way.
It looks
he's
like
not.
just like it's just like they just swapped a face and that was
Yeah.
it. But yeah, it's just like recycled stuff and nothing has gotten amazing.
Right, and I just feel like we're kind of like regressing, honestly, with it. They're just choosing.
Again, just look at Haunted Mansion, how they did it. It's like
Yeah.
there's so much in
Well,
there.
I think they cared a lot more back then.
Yeah. I think they were relying too much again on screen.
But because, then they were like pushing the limits, you
Yeah.
know.
They thought
they
outside
were
the
like-
box and they were like, we can figure out a way to
Yeah.
make this amazing. And now they're like screens. It's CGI. That's what it is. It's CGI
Yeah.
versus practical.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same exact thing that's happening in movies. They don't want to do the things. A lot of those guys are not around anymore to teach someone or show you how to do it anymore.
I think people as a whole are
And it's
just
a
lazier.
it's a dead art, I think. It's unfortunate. That's why we don't get like 2D hand animation unless it's like a Miyazaki movie, I feel like, if it's like a big release,
Mm-hmm.
So it's sad because like it's going by the wayside, like some of these old techniques. Like I don't know, we'll get into the other one, but like just CGI in general is just the same. It's the same crutch as
Same,
screens.
yeah.
So, and it's just a lazy, cheap way of doing it. And it's still amazing that it's breaking down.
It is.
It's fascinating that that's still breaking. I don't know how that breaks.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting anything great in the next few years. Like from these.
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens because, they are doing the Tropical Americas and Dinosaur, but those permits have been filed.
Well, I don't even know what
Dinoland
that's supposed to
USA.
be, though. We'll see, because they always like.
And they do usually announce a lot of stuff that never comes to be. And they have filed permits for the area beyond Frontierland. You know how they're doing like beyond Big Thunder Mountain?
Yeah.
And they were like, it's going to be like either Coco themed or villain themed, something like that. Or
You give me
maybe
a
multiple.
Coco area, I'm on board. You
Yeah.
bring me back.
I think it'd
Do
make
it right, though.
more sense if you're going to go like beyond Big Thunder Mountain for it to be Coco themed because like
That doesn't make actually any sense to me.
it doesn't.
No, to have like an adventure in Frontierland to Coco.
Yeah, because Frontierland is like Wild West. And what do you have out in the Wild West? You've got like Mexico right below it.
I think, no, in my head, like the Mexico area in Epcot makes more sense, obviously, for that to be. And you just go like
well, it
a
doesn't
different
matter.
area.
They're doing it.
Yeah, I know.
So.
I don't have any say in these things, but somehow they sometimes get my brainwaves and they steal my ideas. So, brainworms. Any other thoughts?
I don't know. I do just think that the reason that like the Tokyo Disney animatronics with this new land are so much better is because it's being funded by another company.
I mean, everything's been better though.
It has. Well, I mean, it's always been funded by another company.
But like, look how crazy Pirates is over there in Shanghai. It's nuts.
Well, that's also funded by the Chinese government.
Yeah. Well,
And again, they have like different levels of expectation.
we need to raise our expectations as consumers. We need to raise our expectations
Yeah.
and be like, "This is unacceptable."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they care about what they're putting their names on.
I'm sure
you
there's
know?
some people there that still care, but I feel like as a whole, it's like the quality control's gone out the window with the Imagineering.
It is, and we've talked about this before. I think it comes down to that the past two CEOs you've had are all metric based. All they care about is EBITDA and bottom line, and that's it.
Well,
and
it's also like
the
after
last
watching
time that
this,
you had somebody who cared about the Magic was Michael Eisner, you know,
well, like, you
and
think
he's been out since like what, the late 90s, early 2000s.
remember those videos, like the series they released of like the behind the attractions?
Mm-hmm.
Watching those, I'm just like, they seem like they put so much more thought and effort into these things, and I cannot imagine that much goes into these anymore.
No.
And I just don't think those Imagineers was like Bob Kerr and like
Well, you know,
Goff, like these guys that
yes
like
and no, because they definitely put like so much thought into Seven Doors Mine Train,
yeah.
you know, into Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
In terms of a revolutionary way of having a coaster, yeah, and I think Tron is cool too. I love Guardians. I love how it functions, but like, I just think I'm not talking about like roller coasters. You just mentioned roller coasters, really. That
Yeah.
like in terms of like just a regular dark ride, that's gonna knock my socks off. It has not happened since the inception of those parks. I feel like Little Mermaid was the only other one that's come out. Splash Mountain. What else would you consider a newer?
Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure. What's a newer dark ride? Can you think of any that have happened in the last like 10 to even 20 years?
At World and Land.
Winnie the Pooh. That was it, right? Taking over after Mr. Toad. When did that happen?
That was more than 20 years ago.
Yeah, but it's nothing amazing. But it'd just be like a Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, I think, is the most recent one. I feel like I'm missing something. I mean, you know, like Maelstrom got its makeover with Frozen.
Do you consider that a dark ride?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I would.
I mean, is Ratatouille a dark ride then?
Yeah.
I mean,
But Ratatouille, you know, existed at Disneyland
yeah, that already
Paris
existed.
for
That's
like
not-
over 10
It's
years.
the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Trackless. I guess Running Away Railway would be.
Yeah.
Right? That was cool, but it's all screens.
Yeah.
It's clever with some of the screen stuff, and it looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like, I'm not going to pick that over Great Movie Ride. I still love Great Movie Ride. So
That's the best.
it's a bummer.
It is a bummer. It's just a bummer to see that like these other parks are getting all this amazing stuff, and none of the American ones are.
They're like, no.
None of the flagships.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, it's fine. It's fine.
We finally just got a
It's
Hatbox
fine.
Ghost. It only took like what, 50 years?
years.
Like, you can finally have one. We're like, oh, because they're like, we just couldn't figure out how to do it. I'm like, that you couldn't figure out how to do?
And then it took them,
That?
it took them over a year to like install it.
Yeah, they're like, this is gonna be really good, guys. And then they took away the candelabra in that scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? That was like I love that part.
Yeah.
There's little things that I love, and that was one of them.
Well, it was in there for a while with the Hatbox
And they're
Ghost,
like,
and then all
don't
of a
take
sudden
away
they're
from
just like,
don't take away from the Hatbox Ghost, and you're like, I don't like that. It's not there. Why don't you just leave it?
Yeah.
It's pointless.
well, I feel like the Hatbox Ghost should have been in the attic, anyways.
Yeah, he should have been in the attic. I don't know why they put him right there. It makes no sense.
I don't know. It's like you could have found a spot for him in the attic.
They're like, it was so hard to do. I'm like, was it? Was that really hard to do? We put a man on the moon, and you guys can't figure out how to get a Hatbox Ghost. Tony Stark did all that in the cave.
I mean, the Man on the Moon is controversial. So, I do kind of want to see that new movie
All right, well, take us home.
with Channing Tatum and Scarlett
Change
Johansson.
Chat
There's a great big pretty okay tomorrow.
and shining at the end of the day.
Road.
Shining at the end of the day. I'm tired. I'm shining at the end of every day.
You're shining.
I'm a shining star. You know it.